And welcome to Let's Talk Houston. And welcome to Let's Talk Houston. And I am your host, Dr. J. Lynn. And welcome to Let's Talk.
Liftoff. We have a liftoff. 32 minutes past the hour. Liftoff on Apollo 11. Tower.
And welcome to Let's Talk Houston. And I am your host, Dr. J. Lynn Higgs. And in the studio with us today, we have a dynamic group of panelists who are going to help us sort through some things and work on our self-care and help to build our awareness of who we are. And I want you to welcome this dynamic group of panelists. Yay! So sitting to my immediate right, we have self-care strategist, Coach Katie Parks-Bradshaw. Let's give it up for Coach Katie. And then sitting to her right, we have author, engineer, and motivational speaker, Coach Charlene Harry. Yay! And sitting to her right, we have Coach Jessica Johnson, who is a psychotherapist and an author as well. Yay! So I'm going to come back around and I'm going to say to Coach Katie to greet her audience first of all.
Hey, everybody. It is Coach Katie P. I'm so excited to be here with this beautiful panel of women, and we're ready just to empower you, encourage you, and be impactful.
Yay. And Coach Charlene, what do you have to say to your audience?
I am truly excited to be here, to be celebrating mental health with you all. I'm ready to dive into some tough topics, to share with you some techniques that I use and just kind of learn from these beautiful ladies right here how we can grow together as a community.
Yeah.
Yay. And Coach Jessica, what do you have to say to your audience?
I am just happy to be here, Dr. Hicks. Thank you for having me, and I'm just excited to be around these ladies, and I'm ready to talk about feelings. I'm ready to have the deep conversations, the uncomfortable conversations,
yes,
and really be able to walk away with coping techniques and skills that we can apply and use immediately.
Wow, I love it.
That's right.
So, Coach Katie Parks-Bradshaw, she is a wife. She is a mother. She is a woman in tech. Yes.
Is in the house.
She is the founder and CEO of Our Jubilations, which helps me to release so that I may elevate. I got to go up, y'all. Next level living. Hey, I love Coach Katie. Coach Katie, let's give it up for Coach Katie. All right.
Yeah.
And then to her right, we have Coach Charlene Harry. Let's give it up for her.
Yeah.
You know, it's easy for me to remember Harry because Harry was my brother's name.
Oh,
so every time I see you, I think of that name. I think of my brother, Charlene Harry. Okay, now she's an engineer. She is a motivational speaker. She is an author. And she's so many things.
Yes.
She is a graduate of Lehigh
University.
University in the city of Bethlehem, Pennsylvania.
That's right.
Wow. I like saying that. Because I keep thinking of old little town of Bethlehem. You know, Jesus was born in Bethlehem. Yeah, so this is cool.
Yeah.
I make connections while I look at, hey, Harry, Bethlehem. We have a lot going on here. And one of her books is called Stop Settling. You Were Designed for Greatness.
That's
and you know what?
Yes.
I have got to get my hands on this because you know what? I realize right now, for such a time as this, I was designed for greatness.
That's
I
right.
cannot settle any longer.
No longer.
I've been settling for far too long.
That's right.
So this book speaks. I love this.
Yeah.
I love this for me
Yes.
and for all of you. And down there to your right, we have Coach Jessica Johnson. Yay! Well, she's a psychotherapist and an author as well. And she's going to help us. You know what? When people tell you things like, you're all in your feelings or get out of your feelings, but you're going to help us do a deep dive and get into our feelings.
Get into
That's
our
right.
feelings.
We
and
got
not,
to.
and not shy away from it.
See?
Because if I know how I feel, I can attack it better. I
Absolutely.
can manage it better.
Yes.
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 And you have the couples cards.
I do. They're called Ask Me, and it's for couples to help with those deep conversations, barriers, challenges with communication.
Wow.
So really getting past the surface.
Yes.
So we can get answers.
I need to do this. I need to get past the epidermal.
Come on
This
now.
epidermis.
That's
We
right.
got to dig deep.
Dig deep.
Down to the white meat.
So we can be like Al Green and stay together.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yes.
Woo, I love it. That was a good comeback.
That was
Wow.
good. That
We
was
got
good.
to let's stay together. Yeah, that's what he said. But are we really trying? We've got to try harder, y'all.
We do.
We've got to try harder. Well, I have all these beautiful panelists. I know you have a lot to say. And so we have to have a strategist to help us strategically wade through the process here.
Absolutely.
Okay, so you're
Tools,
going to
techniques, resources, all
Yeah.
of that.
see?
Equipped you. Tool belt.
Thank you.
Get you ready.
Tool belt.
Yes.
Tech lady, tool belt.
Yeah.
And you got a lot of strategies going on inside of your head. And I know that you do because, you've been on the podcast before. And also, just my interaction and engagement with you. I know that you have a lot going on inside of your brain.
Absolutely.
I know.
Too much, actually. Too much.
And I know that you can help us. It's some water. Sometimes the water's murky. Sometimes it's clear.
Mhm.
But we got to muddle through the water. We got to do the deep dive, like she said. We got to get into our feelings. And this is how we're going to build better relationships.
That's right.
So from your self-care strategist perspective, it's so many angles we could take. So many golden nuggets or gems that we can focus on right now. So you being a self-care strategist, would you like to lead with self-care? Would you like to?
Well, here's the thing about self-care, Dr. Hicks.
Okay.
Self-care is self-love, self-worth. It touches so many different areas, and the different areas that we have, if you think about it, and sometimes people don't always think about self-care in that way. They always think about the physical things, the tangible things, different things you do, but there's that internal self-care, right? So that's where we get into the self-worth, the self-love, having healthy, self-esteem. And what are we doing to make sure that we maintain a positive mental and emotional well-being? So what I want to do, let's go ahead and get into the feelings. Let's get into it.
The feelings.
Yes.
This is real.
Because this podcast is self-care.
Yes.
For all of y'all listening, this is effective self-care, and we coming with the tools.
All righty.
Yes.
All righty, right.
Yes. Yes.
So let's get into the feelings.
Okay. I'm going to piggyback off of Katie with it, being able to know with self-care where to apply it.
Right.
Because sometimes we'll think, where to apply it, it's in the outside. Sometimes it can be family.
Shout out, Miss Charlene.
Sometimes it can be situations with family where I need to take people in small doses.
Yes.
I call it small doses.
I like that.
If I'm not obligated to pick up right now, and I tell my clients that just because the phone ring doesn't mean you have to answer right now. I may not have the capacity of what's on the other side of that phone.
Yeah.
Knowing where I need to stop and where I need to start. Sometimes I'm picking up when I'm driving.
Yeah.
Right? Because I know I'm headed somewhere and that conversation is going to be short. It's intentional.
Yeah.
So being able to preserve what you have so I can be of service to others.
I like it. It's strategic.
Yeah. Being intentional with that.
So what does you're in deep thought?
Yes,
I'm just thinking about that intention.
It's marinating.
It really is marinating when you think about the feelings that you have at the moment. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes we don't realize that that's a part of self-care. It's allowing yourself to say, I'm not ready.
Right.
Yeah.
Allowing yourself to say, I don't know what's on the other side of that, but I'm going to take a minute because I want to be ready.
Right.
I want to be ready for that conversation. I want to be there for you. But if I'm not ready,
if you're not ready,
I'm not going to force it.
Right? If it don't fit, don't force it.
You know what I mean?
There needs to be a flow, a divine flow.
That's a part of that is it right there. That divine flow.
That's it.
And it's so funny that you say that, Katie, because you feel it. We're talking about feelings. And you know that spirit, that energy that is telling you now's not the time. And that's the thing that I love about the divine, right?
And not feeling guilty about it. Not having to explain it away and say, well, being able to, this is what it is. I recognize that, and it's not the right time.
Absolutely.
And sometimes it's just no.
Yeah.
And no is a whole sentence.
It is.
And it doesn't require an explanation
That's
every
it.
time.
Did you hear that?
And not only is it not maybe no, but it could just be silence, like you said, not
is.
picking up.
Mm,
Just not picking
Oh.
up. Nonverbal.
Yes.
Just no, not it's not saying anything. It's saying something. I
Yeah.
tell
Yes,
people all the
it
time.
is.
You know what I'm saying?
It is. It
Just
is.
because I'm not saying nothing doesn't mean I'm not saying
You
something. Because I'm saying something. You understand what I'm saying?
Yes.
So just being able to be silent in
I
that
remember when
moment
you
as
said
you
that.
try to understand,
And process it.
process that.
Right.
And sometimes when you are in situations, being able to speak up and have your voice in the moment.
Yeah.
Because I find a lot of times that we will beat up ourselves later. I
Mm.
should have said this.
Right.
And why didn't I say that? And when this happened, it should have been this. And it's not going to be that way all the time. So being able to speak up in the moment and being able to have your voice so you don't beat yourself up later.
Right.
Because you should have
Yeah.
in the moment.
If I would have,
Or
could have,
just
should have.
trusting that what you said was enough.
It was.
At that time, at that moment.
Right.
That's what it was.
That's what it was.
And be okay with that.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So you don't ruminate later and replay the whole scenario or situation
Right.
and different angles, because we want to get past rumination.
Mhm.
Want to get past that and be able to have positive thoughts and manage the negative thoughts.
Right.
So, do you feel like when we overthink, overanalyze, and like try to over-explain,
Yes.
is that a symptom or a sign of low self-worth, low self-value? Why do we do this? If no is a whole sentence.
It can be a defense mechanism.
Mhm.
I feel like I need to over-explain if I'm feeling intimidated in the moment, or I'm used to having to explain my position. You know, it could be a defense that we're unrealizing that we do all the time.
Okay, like a
unbeknownst.
coping mechanism.
Yes.
Okay.
I would definitely think it's a defensive,
Right.
because you're still trying to figure it out in your head, or
Right.
you're trying to make sense of it, but they want to tell you what it is, and,
Mhm.
and something in your spirit says that's not what it is for you.
Right.
Right.
You know what I mean? And so it's that kind of like, I'm trying to defend, and so I got to keep explaining,
No.
but you don't.
You don't. You don't. And
Silence.
don't tell me what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
You know,
Right.
that's
Right.
so diminishing.
Mhm.
You know, and belittling.
Right.
You know.
But sometimes we get so caught up into people pleasing
Yes.
that, and I'm speaking from experience,
Mhm.
that I have, beat myself up later about why did I have to explain and go into details when it should have just been no, or it should have been like, this is just something that I don't want to do at this time, and that should have been that.
Yes.
But I felt the need to elaborate and be detailed. And part of my personality, I am detailed oriented, but explaining was because I'm people pleasing.
Right.
Right. I don't want to disappoint anybody. And why do I not want to, disappoint? It's because it's one of those things that I realized dealing with, abandonment, or dealing with, wanting those relationships and wanting to fit in and wanting to belong and all of those things. But then it also comes back to your self-worth.
Yeah.
Because you got to know who you are.
Right. That's what I was thinking.
And a lot of times it takes a journey
Yeah.
for you to actually come into yourself, embrace yourself, love yourself, and realize that if it's meant to be, it will be. And those who walk away, then let them.
Yes.
They actually done did you a favor,
Really.
right?
Yeah.
But that takes time.
Yeah.
I wish I could have learned that long time ago.
Right. Yeah. I think of, many people have told me, professors, various people, that I'm a linear like I think in straight lines and I make connections. I connect dots a lot, or I think in lines. So if self-love, is on a continuum, like dominoes or whatever, or colors on the spectrum, where does settling fall on this continuum? Like, if self-love, this is showing how much I value and love myself, what is settling showing within me when I settle? Like when I'm settling for something, that's not self-hate, is it? Is it just that I don't know any better, or my perspective is foggy? Why am I settling?
I think we settle because we just want to not try anymore, or we feel undervalued when we do try. So it's kind of like, I'm done. I'll just be happy.
Right.
You hear that term, just be content with what you have. And I often, when I hear that, it's like, I am content, you know what I mean?
Right.
But I know that there's more for me.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I just want to be able to give more, but I want to I want to piggyback to what Katie was saying when it comes to people pleasing.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's not even just people pleasing for me. I find it to be, I want to make an excuse for them in terms of help them understand.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
I want to help them understand. I'm not
Right.
really trying to please them. I just want to help them understand from my perspective because they don't see it. And I don't know if that's a good or bad thing, but I don't think it's healthy.
Right. It took me a while to get to be able to just, no, I'm not available to do that. I cannot. Instead of, well, I guess I could, even though I know in the back of my mind, it's no, I don't want to do it.
Wow.
I can't do it. Why am I trying to stretch myself and contort and arrange? So to Katie's point, for them to be happy.
Right.
So being able to practice that, being able to practice saying no, or practice I'm not available. I wish I could, but I can't.
Right.
And sitting in that.
Right.
Yeah.
Is that how you get through it?
Yes, it's better because if I'm people pleasing and saying yes, and I really want to say no, now here comes beat up waiting on me later. Why didn't you? You know you don't want to do this. You know this is not fitting in, and becomes that. Now I'm ruminating on that for weeks.
And just think about when you showed up doing something that you didn't really want to do.
You didn't want to do it.
So just think about how did that really go?
That experience.
That experience is not a positive one.
Right. They're happy because they got what they wanted, but are you happy when you left the experience?
No.
Yeah.
And then if the shoe is on the other foot and you looking for it to be reciprocated, it's not.
Right.
No.
And that's when the resentment comes.
Yeah.
You took the word right out of my mouth.
Yeah.
Well, I feel like things don't always get reciprocated in the exact manner in which you, like if I sow a seed, say I planted in your garden, and your garden, but my harvest or, what I reap as a result of that might not come directly back from those I sowed into or planted. You know what I mean? The seed, the plant might sprout up way over here, clean cross town in Cyprus, but I might have planted over here, near NRG, and it might not come through you, but it might come through some lady over here that I don't even know.
Right.
So sometimes I think when we do things, we expect it to be reciprocated from the individuals who we poured into, and they don't always pour back into us.
Right.
And then sometimes people get upset about that.
Right.
Like, when you asked me to come, I came.
That.
When you asked me to come to your workshop, I came.
Right.
And when you asked me to do this and the other, hey.
Right. That's a great perspective, and here's the thing, it's a challenge because we all don't have that perspective, right? We don't all see it that way. We're conditioned to see things based on like our experience, and we are all at a different growth level.
Right.
But that is a great perspective because you just opened my eyes to, some things. I think about sowing. And we know that when we sow, that it comes back in different ways.
Right.
But then there are also times, Dr. Hicks,
okay,
that come on, flip it, that you keep doing the same thing, right? The definition of insanity, you keep giving and giving and thinking you're going to get a different result, and you don't.
No.
And it's sometimes we have to realize that certain people have been part of our life for a season.
Right.
And when that season is up, we need to let them go. And a lot of times God allows it to happen. He'll allow it to all fall down, fall apart, because we need to build from a solid foundation.
Yeah.
And our sphere of influence, our circle, our environment, all of that matters. But sometimes, like I said, you said it earlier, you got to release to elevate.
See?
So sometimes it's like, you know what? I wish the best for you. I love you. But in this new season, I have to move on.
Yeah, I like the way you said it.
I got to move on.
You say it kind of sweet, but I feel a little hurt. I mean, I'm just going to be honest. You said it sweet.
Right.
You didn't use profanity?
Nope.
You didn't talk in a condescending tone?
Nope.
You were straightforward?
Yep.
It was crystal clear. But I feel a little hurt.
Why you feel hurt? What's
Because you basically told me for me to kick rocks, or I got to get it, catch, let the good Lord hit you with the donut.
See, there's so many different layers to that.
Right.
See, we only got the podcast is only like we got so much time, so we can't break it on down. I wasn't saying that just completely. You could just be like, deuces, get rid of them all together. I don't ever want to deal with you. Now that could be the case. Now,
if
they're not adding value to your life and they completely just take it away and draining you and making you look back instead of forward and stopping you from reaching and going where you are meant to be in this world, that's a whole different conversation.
Yeah.
And it's hard sometimes, especially if we've been having them in our lives for a very long time. But this is where boundaries come in.
Okay.
Oh,
Boundaries
so
is part of self-care, right?
Mhm.
And sometimes people don't look at it that way, but you have to have boundaries because
Yeah.
you teach people how to treat you.
Yeah.
So there are certain seasons where maybe right now I can't spend as much time with you
Okay.
because I'm focused on this, because I'm elevating, I'm going to go higher. I'm not
Okay.
trying, I am going
Okay.
to go higher.
Uh-huh.
And quantity doesn't mean quality.
That part.
Oh.
You know, just because you've had tenure in my life and I've
Yes.
known you 20 years doesn't mean that the value is still there.
Wow.
You could, you know, I've known you 20 years, but you know, it's still as though we're 16.
Yeah.
And I'm not 16 anymore.
Uh-uh.
And some people are still stuck there
Right.
and not assisting with the elevation.
Right.
Catch feelings because of elevation. And I don't have time, to your point, to explain to you
So
while
good.
I'm not interested in those things anymore. I'm not her anymore.
Wow.
Right.
Oh,
Oh,
you're
that's
not her.
good.
gosh,
Oh, I like
That's
that.
good.
You're not her anymore.
I'm not her anymore.
It's so funny.
Look, and look at her. She said
So
sometimes
true.
you have to release to elevate one by one.
One by
Oh,
one.
I love it.
That's it.
Yeah.
This
love
is
it.
people.
That's
Yes.
This is things
Yes.
that weigh you down.
Yes.
So I got to go take inventory. I might have to release some people one by one, she said, to
Yeah.
elevate.
That's it.
Mm.
Because you're being held back. You're
Yeah.
being held down.
Yeah.
Thank you for that,
And you don't
Charlene.
even
Shout out.
realize
Yes.
it. Yeah.
Shout out to Carolee. Were you going to say something?
Yes.
Oh no, I was just gonna say it's funny that y'all say elevate because I realized that the slogan for my business is called elevate your expectations.
Mhm.
And in that it's like recognizing that sometimes the expectations we have of ourselves really weren't ours, they were someone else's.
Mm.
That's right.
And
Wow.
it's about being able to define the difference between what God expects of you,
Mhm.
Right.
right? And coming in alignment with that
Right.
Correct.
so that you can elevate.
Right.
Hmm.
Absolutely.
Well, sometimes, I don't know, you feel guilty when you don't live up. I'm saying it like if it was a parent,
Sure.
someone that had
It's true.
major
Mhm.
influence over you.
Mm-hmm.
They had expectations
For
of what
sure.
they wanted you to be,
For sure.
you know, when you grew up.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe because they might have failed in an area and they wanted to live vicariously, you know, through you.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes, I don't know, you have to come to a point in life where you don't mind disappointing other people. You can't make everybody happy.
Right.
And sometimes people are going to be, even if you make the decision, I mean, it didn't hurt them. It didn't hurt them if you don't become a nurse or whatever it was they
Right.
wanted, because it's your life. But for some reason, it did hurt them from their, like you say, perspectives.
From their
It's all
perspective.
relative.
So true.
Yeah.
Yeah, you didn't do what I wanted you to do, and I'm hurt.
Right.
Well, I didn't intend to hurt you. I was just trying to pursue my own personal objectives, or you know.
And that's your right.
Yeah, you. I love you.
It really is. It is your right. It is your right.
Listen,
You have a real spunky personality.
well, you know,
What?
Dr. Hicks, I feel like through experience, because I have been sugar for a
Mm.
long time.
Oh, that's what it is.
and I'm still, you know,
There's some
I'm
there.
still a
There's
very
some sugar.
kind person and loving person, and I
Uh-huh.
love to give back. But I realize in order for me to not disappoint God, because that's who I don't want to disappoint.
That's
Right.
Exactly. Mhm.
I can't be worried about, you know, protecting other people's feelings or
Mhm.
managing their hurt, because
Yeah.
I only have control over one person, and that's me.
Yes.
They're not in my brain. I'm not in their brain.
Right.
So it's one of those things where we all have to rise up, embrace
Rise
you,
up.
Right.
and be who you are meant to be in this
That's
world.
right.
And that means you gonna hurt some feelings, or there are gonna be some people who decide, I don't like you anymore.
Okay.
And that's okay.
They're gonna decide that.
Yeah, they do. They make decisions.
Hmm.
They make decisions, and you look up, they done exit. But it's okay.
It's okay.
That's the thing. You have to be able to embrace it,
Mm-hmm.
because, you know, well, I was just talking about seasons. You know,
Mhm.
there's seasons to life, and if it's meant to be,
Mhm.
trust. God will reunite and bring you back together. I have
Mm.
seen that
Yeah.
happen.
Oh yeah.
But I also have seen that sometimes it's not even about,
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to talk to them, they don't want to talk to me, they're not good for me. It's not any of that.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes God will sit you down in a season where you have to spend time with yourself,
Yes.
so you can get to know who you are, love
Mhm.
on you, and embrace what He has called you to do,
Mm.
instead of you always going this way and that way, because that's what someone else expectations, that's the expectations they had for you.
Yes.
So this is what I love. It's the calling. You know, when
Mhm.
I say elevate, I'm consistently thinking about how He wants to elevate me. What
Yes.
He's designed for me is to elevate, not
Uh-huh.
to be where we are right now,
Mhm.
but to evolve, you know?
Yeah.
And so when I think about that, I think about His calling. yes, I might have hurt my family member because I didn't do what they wanted me to do, but I'm not in this for you.
Yes, right.
Right.
That's
You're
it.
right.
I'm in this for the creator who created me.
Right.
And so I'm here to leave a legacy that is pleasing unto him and him only.
Right. You're on assignment.
Yes, we're on an assignment.
I want people around me that are going to be cheerleaders.
Yeah,
You know,
me
I
too.
want people that are going to cheer me on because I'm going to cheer you on.
Right.
And when you begin to do that, you begin to see who's not cheering, who's silent and a spectator. You
Right.
see it.
That's true.
You see it. And so, you know, when I recognize that, I'm not necessarily making an announcement, hey, I'm cutting you off. But there'll be signs. Maybe I don't call as often.
Okay.
You know, maybe I'm slow to return the phone call. And over time, you know, the message will be sent. But I want my circle to be a safe circle.
Right.
I want it to be where it's cheerleaders around me, you know, where we're cheering each other on, and it's safe for me to be vulnerable and transparent, and not where it's going to be turned around on me and in a mush situation later on. You know, because that's where a lot of folks have been hurt. Because I've been vulnerable, and then that's used as it's weaponized later.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And that was what we thought was a place of trust.
Right.
You know, that I can be vulnerable.
Right.
That I can be me.
Yes.
I can, you know, come here in this safe space with
Right.
all my flaws and all my scars.
Yeah.
Right. In love.
Right. And then that's not necessarily was that way. And family can be that way.
Mm-hmm.
You know, people think that, oh, it's family, so I must take this. No, you don't.
Yeah.
You know, I'm related to a lot of people, but my family is small.
Wow.
Oh.
You know, and so knowing that you a lot of people you have a lot of relatives.
But I like the way you did this.
Yeah, you have a lot of relatives, but that doesn't mean they're family.
Right.
Oh, I never looked at it like that.
Yes.
Oh.
Like, I have a lot of cousins, aunts, uncles, but that doesn't mean we're family.
How do you
They're
define
relatives.
family?
Wow.
How do you define family?
How do you define family?
I define family as a reciprocal relationship, a strong relationship where someone can cheer me on and have accountability, and it's not used as, oh, I'm just keeping it real and using that as a mask to be rude. You know, you hear people say, well, I'm just being real about it. No, you're using that to be rude. You know, so being able to assess who is really supportive, who is really undergirding me, where is it safe for me?
Right.
And so depending on the actions and experiences, then you're a relative.
Right.
You're not family.
Oh, yeah,
Right.
you're a relative.
And just, you know what? And when I think about it, when you say that about family, when you know it's coming from a place of love, because I understand that growth comes from a lot of uncomfortableness, right? You know, you're not going to be comfortable all the time because, yes, the cheerleader, and I completely understand that, you know, especially when it's genuine, because you got some people who want to cheerlead, but it's not genuine.
That's right.
Because they waiting on, they waiting on they move,
Come
right?
on.
They
Listen.
wait.
That is so true.
Are they here to, you know, to use and abuse and that sort of thing? But however, I also know that out of love in your relationships, you do want people who challenge you.
Yes.
And when you're not, maybe that wasn't the right move, that they can come to you and say, you know what, Katie, or you know what, sis, you probably could have went a different way.
Yeah.
Maybe you could have took a different direction or could have said something different, did something different versus just going behind your back or decide that they just not going to have a conversation with you at all when in actuality, you may not know exactly what you did wrong.
Right.
But I look at real friendships, real love. No, we're going to be able to have the hard conversation. Right. And sometimes we got to agree to disagree because we all have different opinions, different perspectives, right? We all have grown up differently. So we may be conditioned to see life differently, but the conversation has to be had.
Yeah. Well, you know, I just love listening to you all. The way y'all bounce off, it's like a verbal gymnastics. Okay, she gonna start out, she gonna flip, she gonna somersault, she gonna hit the beam, she gonna hit the high-low bar. I mean, it's like it's a beautiful engagement here. You know what I mean? It's beautiful. It's so natural.
I love this conversation on redefining family.
I did too.
Me too.
That's why I asked her for the definition.
With me growing up, you know, it was all, you know, that's your aunt, that's your uncle, that's your cousin. You know, just let that roll off.
Right.
You know, and you're so sensitive.
Yeah.
You know, which can be so diminishing of your feelings.
Yeah.
You know, when, you know, in older generation, they may come from a place of love with saying that.
Yeah.
But over time that can be very diminishing, and it can chip
on the
away at
inside.
your esteem
Mhm.
when you're trying to express yourself, and then you're so sensitive. No, I'm feeling something here.
Mhm.
I'm
Right.
uncomfortable. That
Right.
that didn't feel
Right.
good.
Right.
And to go to family events, my census, my clients peak during the holidays. Right after Thanksgiving, I get a peak. Right after
Mhm.
Christmas, I get a peak of people
Mhm.
wanting sessions because they've had to be in uncomfortable
Right.
With their
situations
family.
all day long
Right.
with family who've taken jabs at them, been disrespectful,
Mhm.
been diminishing,
Yeah.
second guessing, all of the things, and they've had to put up with it all
Yeah.
day
Right.
Uh-huh.
because they're family.
Right.
Yeah.
And you don't have to do that.
Right.
Mm-mm.
Enough is enough.
Well,
Right.
thank you.
Yeah, maybe I'm not staying all day at Thanksgiving. Maybe
Boundaries.
20
That's a
minutes is all
boundary.
I can do.
That's all I
Right.
can handle.
Maybe I'm not sitting at the big table. Maybe I'm helping the kitchen with cleaning up on purpose,
Uh-huh.
so I don't have to hear that.
On purpose.
Yes.
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 That big table. I like the way you said the
Come
big
on now.
table. A lot goes on at the
Because,
big table.
right, because you get the sly comments, and
Yeah.
they want to mask it with
Yeah.
and it's
Oh,
not
I was
funny.
just playing. Yeah.
Yeah, it's not funny.
No, it's not funny.
Yeah,
Just mean spirited.
just mean spirited. And then what happens when you go home? Now I'm beating myself up
Mhm.
because I should have said, when they said this, I should have.
Mhm.
And that goes on for weeks or months
Right.
until Christmas and New Year's and all the
Mhm.
It
things.
rolls back
But
around.
can we
Yeah.
change the conversation in that moment? Or is it just
Okay.
best to leave? Because I honestly feel like we really should, in terms of defining how we define family, how do we talk
Right,
to family?
Right.
You know,
Yeah.
like, why can't we talk in love? Like,
Right.
Is it gonna make me feel good if you said that? Like, do you think about that? You
Right.
know, like,
Right.
in your mind, you should be leaving deposits.
Right.
You know?
Right.
right.
Mhm.
And is it going to deposit into them? And that's the definition I'd like to go along with how we redefine families. How are we depositing into each other as
Right.
a family?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Right.
That's beautiful. Wow.
That's beautiful.
I've got to process all this information. It's very valuable. It's going around. Yeah, but I mean, it takes some time to process
Yeah.
it. How we define family,
Wow.
the jabs, the dismissiveness,
Right.
Right.
the diminishing qualities, the way they make you feel.
Yeah.
Because the
Jealousy.
way they've treated me
Yeah,
as
you
family, I go out into the world and I think that other people are going to treat me that way.
Okay.
Yeah.
And being able to know the difference, this person is not them.
Right.
They didn't do it.
Mm-mm.
So I'm not going to go in there with this wall up. Oh,
Right.
you're going to be just like this person.
Mhm.
They didn't do it.
No, they didn't
And
do
so being able to have grace and have rope and benefit of the doubt when I'm
Mhm.
going into new situations
it. Right.
and not bringing the old stuff with me.
Don't bring that.
Don't
That's
bring
baggage, right?
Yeah,
That's
you don't want to bring that.
That's something. Wow. Okay, I'm decompressing.
All right.
It's
Okay.
a wonderful conversation.
But at the same time, I'm segueing
Okay.
as I decompress.
All right.
Uh,
All right, Dr. Hicks.
I'm just
Come
letting
on
you
now.
know what I'm doing while
All
I'm
right,
doing
Miss
it.
Blank.
All right.
Okay, so we all have
Okay.
some upcoming events
Mhm.
on our calendars. And I want to hear about that. And we could most definitely come back around to our roundtable discussion. But I want to hear Miss Coach KDP. What do you have coming up if I want to see you?
Well, the main event I want to talk about, and it's coming up actually July 26th through July 28th. This
Okay.
is going to be shout out to Melanin Minds.
All right,
This-
Melanin Mind.
Yes, this is
Woohoo!
amazing organization,
Mm-hmm.
BIPOC organization. And let me tell you, this is going to be a great mental health event.
Yeah.
So this is all about your mental and emotional well-being. When you come, you're going to get tools, you're going to get nuggets, you're going to get workshops, panels,
Mhm.
amazing speakers. You have counselors, therapists, you have amazing business people like myself and coaches like myself, and also
Right.
these wonderful ladies on the panel. When you come, really, and it's a community, right? So it is also where you get to be amongst people who truly care, people who are there because they want to heal, they want to give, not just to get, but to give, right? And you just come full, be ready to receive. So this is going to be at melaninminds.org. Tickets are on sales right now. I am speaking. I will be part of the effective self-care panel. This is on Self-Care Sunday. And
Yes. Self-Care Sunday.
So it's effective self-care. It's non-negotiable. It is non-negotiable.
Non-negotiable.
What
I
it
like
is.
that.
That's going to be happening at 10:30. But you don't want to miss out on these tickets because guess what? It's going to sell out. It is 3 days. So no matter what industry you're in, we have something for you, because guess what? Everybody is supposed to have a healthy mental and emotional health. It's necessary, and it's part of it's it is also so a part of how you get to elevate to that next level of growth and success.
Yes.
Release and elevate.
Yes.
Self-care.
That's
the way.
Release to elevate.
Yeah.
Release and elevate.
Yep.
Well, let me give you a round of applause.
That's right. That was good.
So powerful, knock my mic down. That's the first time my mic has ever fallen on set like this. But your words had that much power.
Come on now.
Well,
Praise
praise the Lord.
my mic down.
Well, there you have it. Because mental health, especially in the Black community, it can no longer be a place where we're being silent.
That's right.
We have to take a stand. We got to do something about it. It's
got
actually
to.
very serious.
It's
non-negotiable.
That's what
It's
she
non-negotiable.
said.
Yes. Well, after that,
Right.
I guess we're ready to hear from Coach Charlene here about what you have coming up.
I'm so excited. I have partnered with an esthetician. She owns a shop in Nassau, in Southeast Houston. It's called A Sweet Break. It's an educational nook, and she has a wind down suite where self-care done differently. And we will be doing a book signing, not only for my first book, but for my latest book, Stop Settling, You Were Designed for Greatness. So I am super excited because we're going to be diving into the topic of self-care. We're going to be talking about how it is important for you. It's like Katie said, is non-negotiable.
Yes.
Okay.
Period.
Yes.
And it's how you nurture your well-being.
Wow.
Okay. And so I'm excited because she's not only, I'm not only going to be signing books there, but she's also going to be sharing with us about the moon phase and how we could leverage it, because July 13th is when the moon waxing is going to be. And so I'm just super excited to be able to share with her. She's actually also a co-author inside the book. So I'm excited to partner with her, and her name is Janine White, and you'll meet her as well, and some other readers of the book. And we're just going to have a good time on spending time on ourselves and elevating how we can do that on a non-negotiable basis.
Okay.
That's it.
Where was that located again in NASA?
Where is it located? I don't have the address, but I'll put it in the links below.
Okay. Well, thank you so much. That was beautiful. Book signing. Look at you. I'm so happy for you.
Yes, thank you.
Coach Jessica, what do you have for us?
I have why am I sitting here? I have created couples cards. They're called Ask Me. They are on my website, Once and Again Therapy. It's also, there's a link in my bio on IG, Jessica Johnson, LCSW, and they're cards for couples to help with communication, find out where the gaps are, be able to take a deep dive so the relationship can sustain. I also have pre-sale for fathers and sons who may have fractured relationships. It's called Dear Dad. That'll be out in the fall, also on the website, onceandagaintherapy.com.
Yes.
Wonderful. I want to ask you a question about the couples card. So, you know how, like everybody here, we're chatty or we're able to communicate and talk.
Yes.
But what about when you pull out the couple cards and you're all giddy and excited and hey,
yes,
and then your partner, you trying to do the couples card, they're looking at you like,
well, and the good thing about the cards is the other person doesn't feel ambushed.
okay,
You know, and
I like that
you're
word,
able
ambush.
you're able to put the deck out there,
Okay.
and he or she is able to pull a card and ask a question,
Mhm.
and she or he is able to ask one also. So no one is feeling marginalized. No one
Okay.
is feeling on the spot.
Uh-huh.
Nobody is feeling ambushed.
I love
It's
it.
not a one-way conversation where it's just the women asking the men, or
Right.
the men just asking the women, or women just asking the women. Everyone is being able to feel highlighted, heard.
Yeah.
That's the part of it. So everybody can feel heard, and their questions are answered.
How much are the couples
The
cards?
cards are $25. It includes shipping and handling. Some of the questions are, how can I feel more covered?
Oh, I like that.
What is your experience when I'm not around? How do you feel when I'm not around? So it's not a yes or no. They're set up where we can get full answers.
Mhm.
And also the ones with Dear Dad is where the sons can ask their dad's their father's questions, And the father can ask the son questions. How can I be a better dad?
Oh,
How was I as a dad?
Mhm.
What are things that you were fearful of when you were growing up? So able to get perspective as a grown man or
Yeah.
young man coming up to further their relationship.
What about Dear Mommy cards? You have Dear Mommy?
They're coming.
Okay.
I'm working my way around the
I
family.
told you
I'm working
Yeah.
my way around the family. I
I like
started
it.
with the couples, and then I'm going to father and son, and then it'll be mother and daughter,
Okay.
and then eventually children. But I'm working my way to the whole family.
Uh-huh.
So
Okay.
when you're on vacation, when you're doing a road trip, these are cards that you can take with you
That's right.
and ask questions, and it's a safe thing to do.
Oh, I love that. That is.
Love
Let me
that.
give
It
you a
is.
hand.
It's wonderful.
This is a beautiful idea.
And you're speaking also at the
I
conference.
am. I'm on Friday at 3:00. Revolutionary Relationships. I'm
Wow.
on block 3. So I'll be on a panel, and I'm so excited about it, and also on the unpaneling on that same block. So look for me there. Once and again, therapy,
Yes.
Jessica Johnson, psychotherapy.
Yeah.
So
And listen, can I just say this? I'm sorry, because
Okay.
I also want to say I just love both of these ladies. And let me tell you, I met both of these ladies through networking and
Yes.
showing up and being a part of other things.
Yes.
And that's why when you said the name, you said the word nurturing.
Mhm.
It's such an amazing word because you got to nurture your relationships and you got to show up. So
Yeah.
thank you for showing up
Thank
today.
you for making this
Yes.
happen.
I
I
love
appreciate
it. I
it.
love
Yes.
it. Oh,
Thank
I also
Coach
forgot
Katie.
to mention this is my birthday month. We celebrate a birthday.
Come
this
on,
year.
Rachel.
All
Okay.
right. That's right.
And,
June 1st.
And because I celebrate, I'm June 10th. Okay.
Okay.
And because I celebrate all month long,
That's right.
I have half off on my book prices this
Okay.
week. So I just want to let y'all know for the rest of the month,
Plug.
plug, half off. Get you
Half
your
off.
copy. Get you
Okay, did you let them know about the 15% first name on the
No,
melanin?
go ahead.
Okay, so with the Melanin Minds,
Melanin
if you
Minds.
use Katie's first name, you're able to get 15% off your ticket. If you use her last name, first and last name, there's an additional cost off the ticket, and she'll have that with her promo.
Yes,
Wow.
yes.
Katie
Wow.
Parks-Bradshaw.
Katie Parks.
Katie Parks.
Katie
Katie
Parks.
Parks.
Mhm.
Just want to
Yes.
make sure I had the right.
Yes.
Oh, to get additional. Oh.
Yes, and look out for it because I'm gonna start posting a whole
Yes.
bunch of information on this amazing conference because I truly did enjoy it last year. It blessed me. It's always a blessing to be able to speak, but being a participant, being
Oh,
able
yeah.
to be poured into.
Yes.
Because we got to be refilled, our cup, right? We
Yeah.
have to be replenished and rejuvenated. So it was just wonderful.
How much are the tickets? Before the discount.
Before the discount's $100.
Okay. But if we start putting names.
But 3 days. This is a 3-day event. You
3
got
days.
Friday, Saturday, and
And Sunday.
Sunday. You
Friday,
got a
Saturday.
whole lot.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, that's
It's packed.
wonderful.
Yes.
And so your book signing, you say was on July the 19th,
13th. July 13th.
and yours was on July the 19th.
This is July 26th through the 28th.
Oh, 26th through the
26th.
28th. Oh, you're the 13th. Oh no, I was just trying to
Yeah.
line those dates up. So as we begin to talk about, we were reflecting upon self-love, stop settling, release to elevate. One topic that comes to mind, we mentioned earlier when we had the podcast before the podcast. We were talking. we were talking about imposter syndrome.
Yes.
Mhm.
We achieve things in life. We achieve goals. We accomplish things, and we get there, and then we feel like, hey, I guess I'm not worthy. Do I really belong here?
Right.
I mean, what is your experience with imposter syndrome with yourself or with others that are that you interact with on a daily or on a regular basis?
Well, my experience with imposter syndrome has been a lot of different things, but one of the most recent things, is not playing full out, not showing up at your best, right?
Yeah.
Not shining, allowing others to dim your light.
Yeah.
Not speaking when you know that you have a voice and you should be speaking, right? Instead, you shrink. Not being able to come in with your full self, to embody who you are with your full personality and know that you matter and what you have to say matters.
Yeah.
You have something to offer. But because of maybe, it could be maybe you feel like you don't have enough credentials. Maybe you feel like you don't have enough money, or maybe you feel like, your title is not what others have, or maybe you just feel like you haven't been part of the clique, the group long enough to be able to have something of value to add. That's been my experience.
What do you have to say, Miss Coach?
I'm trying to think of when I experienced imposter syndrome, and I think when I first started out after graduating from college, constantly being challenged with my capabilities. Can I do it? And you're new, you're too young for this. That terminology, too young. And then being black and a female, just to add on top of it, you don't see a lot of black female engineers, or what'd you say, tech,
women in tech.
Women in tech. You don't see a lot of us. So it's kind of like, am I really supposed to be here? Am I really? And it wasn't really an imposter for me. I felt like it was an imposter for them. Like they just didn't see it. You know what I mean? Like they don't see that I'm supposed to be. I know I'm supposed to be here. But I feel in terms of imposter syndrome, I sometimes fall short of doing the action, that I should be doing because I'm hesitant. Like, is it going to happen? Is it going to work out? Or am I going to get some failure with that? Or, just the fear of failure for me is what I experience when it comes to imposter syndrome.
Fear of failure.
Fear of failure for me.
But you feel like when you arrive at a particular, I'm going to say, phase of status in life, or you are a sought after speaker.
Yes.
And then you get on these platforms, but while you're up there, it's like there's an internal conflict.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
Like, why am I up here?
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
are they really listening in the audience?
Yeah.
Right.
Why did they call me? Oh,
Right.
I'm up here with her. It's like there's a battle. Like you don't feel worthy enough, good enough. And I'm thinking a lot of it goes back to these Thanksgiving dinners and these and these
They
Christmas
go
dinners.
back to that. Don't
You
they?
were feeling just fine.
Yeah.
Until they start saying, "Be quiet."
Right.
Oh, and then you kept minimizing yourself.
Right.
That's your cousin. Don't talk back to Aunt Geraldine.
Right.
Now Aunt Geraldine is crazy.
Right.
But you want me to bite the bullet so
Right.
Aunt Geraldine and you can be happy, but I'm miserable.
Right.
And year after year after year after year.
Right.
It's exacerbated.
And here's the gag: I'm not 12 anymore.
Right.
I'm in my 30s or 40s. I'm grown.
Yeah.
Been grown a long time.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And so now you're up here trying to speak, and you're like, I'm battling back. She said something she said way back.
Right.
Yeah, but it was never addressed. Because a lot of us, we don't go to see the psychotherapist. We don't go to counseling. Right. We don't go to see the self-care strategists. We just try to deal and handle it on our own,
Right.
So
until you can, and you blow up. Because eventually,
Yes.
it's gonna come out.
Yeah, it's gonna
It's
bubble
gonna
up.
come out.
it's gonna come out.
Yeah, it's gonna come out,
Okay.
and you just blow up. Been there, done that.
Mhm.
I remember having a conversation with my mom, and it's because she kept talking about Katie from the past.
Mhm.
And like you said earlier, I am not her.
Right.
I have evolved.
Yeah.
I have transitioned to my next.
Yeah.
This is my transformation. I'm steady.
Yes.
That's what life is
Hallelujah.
about.
Yeah.
And I had to actually, I love my mom,
Yeah.
but I actually had to say, put my hand out. Have you met Katie?
Mhm.
Because it's like I had to reintroduce
Right.
myself.
Oh,
Like that's
I like
the
that.
past. Yes. Have you
And
met Katie?
And some people aren't ready for that. They don't
Right.
want to see the new
Right.
They
Right.
want to stay in the old Jessica
want to
or
see
the
it.
old
So
person,
true.
and they don't want that.
Right.
They want to keep reminding
Right.
of,
Don't want
well,
to
this
do
is
that.
what you were. This is what you used to do. You remember that? I remember it. I was there. I don't need you to keep bringing that up.
Right.
Amen.
Right.
Amen.
Okay, you brought it up. Now what?
Exactly.
Is
I've
that a
moved on.
deposit?
Right.
Is that a
Right.
deposit?
Right.
The point is,
Right. I've moved
Yeah.
on.
yeah, I'm not sure what the point is when they bring up.
Right.
And that's the thing about the past.
Yeah,
See,
that
that's
is
a
the
whole
point.
nother can of worms right there. But you
Mhm.
know what? A lot of times when you start going in the past,
Yeah.
it's usually not positive.
Right.
And we need to focus on the here and now, because tomorrow doesn't happen without today, right now. And that's where the focus should be.
And it's difficult with people because with holidays, events, going home is the past.
Right.
And they shy away from that. Holidays come, people don't want to go home. They rather be alone during the holidays because
Right.
to go home is to deal with that.
Right.
I'm no longer 30 or 40 when I go home. I'm 8, I'm 12.
Right.
I'm reminded of the missteps or mistakes I've made in the past, and that's continued to be brought up. No accomplishments, no acknowledgement of that.
Right.
Let's talk about what you used to do and
Right.
what you did. And for that, I don't want to go home. I'd rather eat a lean cuisine and stay at home.
Right.
Than,
But you can go to somebody else's get together.
yes,
Because that's not your family.
that's not the family. I don't need to be with the relatives. I
Right.
can be with my self-picked family,
Yeah.
and I can self-select out.
See? Self-select.
Yeah, I can
Self-select.
self-select.
Oh, I like that.
Yes, I like that too.
I like that.
Yeah.
All right, now
They don't know
some
you.
gems.
Yeah, because they don't know you.
Yeah.
That other family.
They don't.
Yeah.
They don't. And even if they did, being able, when I'm around positive, when I've created it and it's positive,
Yeah.
it's no judgment. It's no, oh well, it's none of that. We're
None
not
of that.
competing.
Right.
Yeah. I'm not.
Right.
I shouldn't have to interview to be your child.
Right.
If you're the parent, I shouldn't have to interview for the job.
I like the way you say that.
I'm your child. I shouldn't have to interview to or compete to to be your child.
This is every Thanksgiving.
Right. Every year.
And
Every
also, here's the thing:
Mhm.
when you start really knowing who you are, and your
Yeah.
self-worth, what it really comes down to, even sometimes it doesn't even matter all the accomplishments and achievements. I have that right to just be. My slogan is "Being is our birthright." I have that right, just like you do, just to be.
Yes.
And that's it.
That's it.
Well, you remember one time there was a resurgence of family reunions, and now I notice I don't hear much about. I mean, people are still doing them,
Right.
but not on the level that they once were.
Right.
Right.
And I'm thinking this is part of the reason why, because
Right.
it wasn't pleasant.
Right. We all have that aunt that oh, she don't come around. Or we have that uncle. He doesn't come around. The events, and it was always perhaps where he doesn't associate it. But now you possibly may see why.
Yeah.
As you get older, you're like, oh, now I see why.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, now I get it.
Yeah.
He knows about all y'all.
Listen.
But I also feel like this is why having the proper tools and techniques in place, because you can only control you.
You can.
We can't control anybody else. Although we might think we can. No, you cannot. Not even your spouse, no. And sometimes not even your kids, right? Once they get to a certain age.
Yeah.
But it's really about you setting up those boundaries. You already anticipating it could go this way.
Right.
This might happen.
Right.
But if it does, how do I respond and not react? What are the tools that I'm already equipped with to make sure that I don't stop being me?
Yes.
All the work, all the progress that I've made, like when people come and do therapy, right? They're working on themselves. Why, I should not allow someone to make me go back.
Yes.
Become who I am not.
Yes.
No longer.
No longer.
So it's about me making sure that I stay in control of me and do what's right. And if that means, okay, it's time to go, then I should be okay with just saying, okay, I've been here long enough.
Right.
And it's time for me to exit.
Yeah, having boundaries and not feeling guilty about it.
That's
Right.
it. The guilt.
Because they say conviction comes from the inside, but guilt comes from the outside. So these outsiders, it could be relatives, parents, sisters, brothers, trying to make you feel guilty about setting your own personal boundaries.
Right.
How out of order is that?
So out of order.
Because you have to assess, how do I feel after I've had an interaction with you?
Right.
And being able to look at the consistency of it. Every time I'm around said person, how do I feel afterwards?
Right.
And if it's always a draining, self-defeating, diminishing, do I want to feel like that every time? So I need to reassess that and maybe space those interactions out.
Yes.
For your own mental health.
For myself.
Yes.
Because I don't like the way I feel afterwards.
Right.
When I leave somebody, I want to be like, oh, that was fun. I can't wait till we do it again.
Right.
I want to be
Right.
like, I don't want to feel that way.
No. Who does?
Yeah.
It's not healthy. It's not fun.
It's not.
I mean, you're already going to work. And then when you get off,
Yes.
you want to select the type of people you're around.
Yes.
Where you can have a positive report.
Yes.
Right.
And you walk away, feeling refreshed, reinvigorated.
Yes.
Not drained.
Not further drained.
Not
and I'm already
depressed.
coming into the situation with a NyQuil cup.
Yeah,
full.
See?
You don't have much. And then you taking that
That's all
little
you
bit.
got
I got
Right.
You're giving a lot.
Right.
You almost left it all on the field, like they said before you leave here. I want to leave it all on the field.
Yeah.
But I don't want to leave no depression that you gave me because you sitting up here, I don't know what I want to say but I'm saying you're not giving me your best self.
Right.
Because it might be something that I don't even know why you're acting like this though.
Right.
Like you say, sometimes jealousy,
Right.
envy.
Yeah.
And you might not ever know.
That's true. Coach gave you something.
You might
She
not
said you might
ever
not
know.
ever know.
You
You might
It's
not
so
ever
true.
know. And you know what? And sometimes you just got to be able to say, not today. Because
Right.
if your cup is half full,
Yes.
and you're going to deal with someone who, look, a fourth, right, a quarter. If you're going to deal with someone who depletes you and puts you on empty, you already know that it's going to happen.
Yes.
What happens when you pass empty?
Right.
You broken down,
That's
used,
true.
abused, busted, and disgusted.
Oh.
No, we're not having that.
Right.
We're not today, like you said.
Not today.
And then, because then that's going to go into, why did I go?
Mhm.
Why did I say
Exactly.
yes? Why did
Exactly.
I agree?
Yes.
I knew it was
To the
going to turn
guilt.
out this way.
And I'm beating on myself.
Yeah, this is your fault. You shouldn't have said yes. And that begins that on the ride. That's before you even get home. That's the ride home. The conversation you've had with yourself.
Yeah.
Because
You
you
already
should have
knew.
said no from the beginning.
Right.
History has been repeating itself.
Right.
So what's wrong with you?
You know
What's
how
wrong
it's going to
with
turn out. You've
Yeah.
had said experiences with the person.
I like
you know
when
how this
you
is going
said
to end.
said.
Yeah.
Said person
Yeah.
always produces said
Yeah.
experiences.
Yes.
Yeah.
So what is wrong with said me?
Yeah. Because they're not going to change.
You're right.
They've got to want to do it.
Exactly.
I can't love them into it. They've got to
Right.
want to do it.
Mm-hmm.
That
You can't
part.
love them into it.
I can't.
Nope.
They've got to want to
They
do
have
it for
to want to
themselves.
do it.
I like the way you
And I don't know if I want to wait around for it.
Ooh.
Because I'm tired.
Yes.
It's exhausting to
You have
wait on
options.
you.
That's why she my sis.
You have options, right?
I don't know if I want to wait around for
No,
that.
you don't have to.
Yeah.
But some people do.
Yeah.
They wait a whole lifetime.
That's a long time.
And
That's
it's a very long time.
Yeah.
But then you start living a life of regret.
Right.
And then shoulda, coulda, woulda,
Right.
and didn't.
Right.
And time is a commodity you can't ever get back.
Right.
No, so true. This is some stuff to really think about.
Yes.
Time is a commodity. Did you hear this? You can't ever get back. I have to celebrate my birthday, celebrate my accomplishments, celebrate my milestones, celebrate myself, because time is a commodity.
It is.
And with imposter, to infuse that in with the celebrating the accomplishments, I'm not apologizing for what I've accomplished. I don't want to feel guilty
Right.
for
Right.
because I did it right and I didn't skip steps. And
Right.
maybe the other person didn't, and I must because they didn't. Those are the decisions they made.
That's
I'm
what
not going to
they say.
apologize for the levels that I've reached.
Mhm.
I'm not. That's not where I'm at.
I like it.
Right.
I want to be happy from within and,
Right.
and be able to be around people who are not intimidated by that.
Ooh, that's the word.
I
Ooh,
love it.
Yeah.
she hitting all kind of words.
I don't want to, I'm happy for whatever everybody brings to the table, and I don't want to necessarily be around people who are going to feel intimidated. Oh, this person has
Right.
this, or
I want to know, why would people be intimidated by happiness?
That's what I'm trying to
because
figure
they're
out.
not.
That's exactly
I
right.
know
They
they're
have the
not.
void.
They have
Right.
the void.
They have the
Right.
void.
They missing that.
Yeah.
Are they competed with me for my happiness?
It's just like you
Yeah.
may find yourself around people,
Uh,
and this has happened with me.
Yeah.
It's okay if you achieve, just don't have more than me.
That's
It's
right.
okay for you to
That's
elevate.
right.
Just don't get too far above me.
Right.
When that happens, now we have a problem. Now I'm gonna begin to, as they say, act funny, and now it's gonna start to be this diminishing, thing.
Yeah.
Where it's a joke, but it's
Yeah.
really for real.
Right.
So being able to recognize that in relationships.
Mhm.
Yeah.
People start acting brand new. You say
Yeah.
Right.
funny, like
It's okay if you and I have, if we're getting the same thing, but
Uh-huh.
don't get more than me.
Right.
But where does this lack of abundance stem from? I don't get it. It's like we're all here to evolve at some point, and recognize that in order to evolve, we all doing it every day.
Right.
It's inevitable for
Yeah.
us to evolve, and I just can't understand how people can't see that there is so much available.
Right.
Right? If you making, sis, that's fantastic.
Mhm.
Because you making doesn't mean I can't make.
Right.
You know what I mean? There's no limit.
Right.
The limit is within ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
We set the limits
We
on
set
ourselves.
the limits.
Yeah.
That's right.
We have to let that go. We have to let those limits go.
Release and
Even
elevate.
Release to elevate.
release to elevate.
That's it.
Serious talk, because this whole idea of having family members and
Mhm.
watching what they're doing is so annoying.
And
Oh,
exhausting. It's
Ah,
so exhausting.
so exhausting. Why are you watching other people's money? I don't
Listen.
understand. It ain't yours. You can't
money-
use it. You know what I mean? You
Uh-huh.
could try and manipulate to get it, but it's not yours.
Yeah.
Right.
But you have that birthright to get yours.
Right.
That's the part that I
Right.
don't understand.
And usually there's some sort of block. It's
Yes.
because they're not doing the work. If you haven't done the work on yourself, you
Yes.
can't see it. right? You can't have self-awareness, right?
That's what it is.
I mean, because you haven't really started to reflect and do the work and really acknowledge the fact that there's some parts of me that I need to work on.
That's what
I
it
need
is.
to improve.
Yes.
It's not going to happen overnight, but I can take steps and do different things that's going to make me better. That's part of counseling. That's part of getting a coach. That's part of picking up a book. That's part of listening to a sermon, listening to something that's going to inspire you, or something that's just going to be able for you to just look inward. That introspection, needs to happen. So.
And it's so much easier, right, to look at sis and tell her what she's not doing.
Come on.
Then look at myself and see what I'm not doing. So to put in the work.
Right.
I love the parable of the talents for that reason.
Right.
It's your talent.
Right.
Yes.
Right.
And you choose to do what with it? Nothing.
Right.
And you expect something to happen because you did nothing?
Right.
I guess so. Yeah.
It don't work that way, though.
They're gonna just attach to your coattail.
They could try, but it's available to them. It's theirs for them to have as well.
It is.
Once you know you are connected, you know what I mean. When he has, it's for you.
Yeah.
Trust in that.
That's right.
And let it go.
No respect.
Let's start depositing. I think that's what Katie is talking about, is depositing into ourselves and taking that time for ourselves, that self-care time to really look at what is the block,
Right.
what is holding me back.
Yeah.
Right.
Not how is she getting up,
Right.
but what's holding me back from attaining what God has for me.
Absolutely. Because resentment, actually, part of it is admiration.
Yeah.
There's something inside of that person, that other person that you're resenting, that you actually admire, you actually like. It's something they are doing or have that you want.
Right.
Yeah.
And being able to see that and use that as fuel and motivation. I see ladies all the time and I'm like, wow, how did they do that? Oh, and that gets me excited. I'm like, okay, I got to get back on the drawing board. I've got to step up my game. I've got to do that, but that's a healthy angle to look at it versus, oh, well, but so being able to look at the angles and look at how that could improve me. So I can go further.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Always looking, as Katie said, always looking inward first.
Right.
Before you go out and criticize other folk.
Absolutely.
But like she said, it's so much easier to just criticize them.
It is.
But where does that get you, really, though?
I don't know, but it's so much easier. There's no work involved in just talking about it. There's no real work.
No work.
Once I got older, I understood when family members would call before an event and ask my mom, who all over there?
Ooh,
and I never understood. I was like, I didn't want to know who here. I get it now. And I find myself doing that now. My mom will call me, when you on your way? You on your way? And now I find myself, who all in?
Yeah.
Because that'll determine when I go. Okay, they should be gone now. Yeah, now I'm on the way.
Absolutely.
I get it now.
Because you don't want to deal with
I don't
it.
want to.
Oh,
You don't
my
want to.
goodness.
That's your choice. And don't you just hate it when you've been told that, why are you letting so and so bother you? That's just how they are.
No,
Yes,
Like I'm the problem. I'm not.
Right.
But I have
my
realized, and that's when you have to be able to stand up for yourself and say something, and say it might be how this person is,
right?
But is it right?
Right.
It's not.
Right.
And I don't have to accept it.
Right.
So that's where you have to speak
And
up.
age doesn't get a pass. Oh, they're so and so age, so just let it be. No.
Yeah, this is good.
Oh, this is a great conversation.
Because you can get told at 7 years old as well.
Did you remember you were on the podcast?
Listen, okay?
Did y'all remember that we were on the
Listen. This is great. I get that. But that's the way it's supposed to be, though.
I know it is.
No, but you're right. No, it was a great conversation.
It feels like we're on The View.
Yeah, that's what it is.
We might be on to something here.
We've already been talking an hour. But now, if you feel
so fast.
it went by so fast. But now, if you feel compelled to share anything else, you have a burning desire to share anything else within your heart. We've talked about a lot. We talked about self-love. We talked about settling. We talked about imposter syndrome.
Yes.
We talked about, I guess, what we call family, which are really
relatives.
That's
it.
Treating us as if we're less than, basically. Dismissing our feelings, talking to us in condescending tones, making us the blame game, making us take the blame for somebody else's behavior.
Right.
I don't want to ignore the person.
Right.
I don't want to give them a pass.
Right.
I want to assert myself, and I want to go and confront the person.
Because guess what? You'll feel better about it later.
Yes,
Yeah.
you will.
You'll feel better about it later,
Mhm.
because if not, you're going to take that with you, the
Right.
car ride home, 2
Yeah.
weeks, 3 weeks later,
Right.
you were
Right.
upset with yourself
Right.
because you didn't use your voice in that moment to tell that 70-year-old,
Yeah, I told
sit
him,
down.
but I did tell him. And then people would come to me and say, "Well, go over there and tell." Now these are adults now, and I'm a young person.
Mhm.
They'd be like, "Katie, go over there and tell Aunt Geraldine."
Mhm.
So they would send me because I was the one that I had to stand up. I just couldn't take it anymore. I'm sorry.
Yes.
But you know, I have to deal with her. What is it? Her wrath or backlash, whatever that stuff
Right.
is. It comes out.
Mhm.
They're not used to people confronting, so you're gonna
Right.
get it. But hey, whatever.
Yeah.
I mean, because I'm tired.
Because you
Right.
got to release it.
Yeah,
You
you
do.
got
You
to.
got to release
gotta
that.
release
I'm
it.
not, I'm not
Right.
taking that and listening to that
Absolutely.
and carrying that with me.
That's the
No.
thing. You don't want to carry it with you.
Right.
That's the
Absolutely
key.
not. And then realize what they're going through has nothing to do with me. It has
Right.
everything to do with them
That's
and
it.
what they're
Mhm.
going through, and they haven't done the work.
But you've
Right,
been,
they
going,
haven't done the
you've
work.
been going through it for 80 years.
Right.
Listen,
And nobody has said it. It's time somebody say something. And I'm the one. I'm the chosen one.
The chosen.
I have no problem with this assignment right now.
Okay.
I love
Because
it.
you're going to sit down.
Sit
You're going to have
down.
several seats. But
In love.
in love. I like that.
That's right.
Like,
That's
in
right.
love.
In love.
Or not.
Sit down
Or
in
not.
love.
because I've heard somebody say you caught the right person on the wrong day.
Yeah,
Oh.
I heard that.
Listen,
That
that
was in one
spoke
of
to
those,
that spoke to me when I
that was
heard
in one
that.
of those Tyler Perry things.
Yeah, that spoke to me when I heard that. I said I like that.
Yeah. It did have a little
Look,
pizzazz,
a little
oomph.
seasoning.
Yeah,
Yeah.
a little seasoning on it.
Yeah,
You caught the right person on the wrong
on the
day.
wrong day.
I am
And
the
I'm
right
gonna help you
person.
through it. I'm
Yeah.
gonna help you out.
Look at a serious
I
face
like
over
these
there.
catchphrases.
I'm gonna help you.
I'm gonna help
out.
you through it.
Yes.
We're gonna work through this together.
Together.
I'm not gonna
love
leave you out
it.
there by
I'm
yourself.
not. I'm gonna bring you with me.
Right. Right.
Drop you off.
Yes.
Woo, drop you out. So before we get off, Coach KDP,
Yes, ma'am.
your information, your website, how do we get in touch if we want to, take a class, find out, where you're gonna be, check your calendar. You got something for us?
Absolutely. So the best thing to do, you can follow me on, if it's Facebook, you can do Katie Parks Bradshaw. Then you can actually catch all of my links where you can sign up for your discovery session. It's a free 30-minute discovery session where we talk about what it is that you need that's going to help you elevate to your next level of growth and success. If it's IG, it's going to be I am Katie Parks. Also on LinkedIn, it's Katie Parks as well. And listen, it's really, if you're looking to, this is complete opposite of everything we've been talking about, but I believe we are multi-talented women over here.
Yes.
So I am a woman in tech and I co-own a business called Video Plus Entertainment. So if you're looking for surround sound speakers, satellite systems, any of that good stuff, I want you to go ahead and check out videoplusentertainment.com. And we are your Black-owned business.
Come on now.
No, that's what I'm talking about.
Yes.
Well, we are your Black owned. Add some seasoning on it. Okay. I see what's
was
happening.
hot.
We have elevated on the podcast.
Yes. Yes.
So, Coach Charlene, what you got for us?
Well, I'm on Instagram as Charlene Harry Speaks, and I'm on my website is Charlene Harry Speaks, and I just invite you guys to connect with me on Facebook as well. And I'm looking forward, if you're in the Houston area, of course you are, right, to join me at the July 13th book signing.
Yay. And Coach Jessica, what you got for us down there?
I am on IG, Jessica Johnson, LCSW. My website is again, therapy.com. The office number, 713-853-9061. We take all major insurances. If you are private pay, we're able to accommodate you. I offer free 15-minute consultations. I work with couples, individuals, virtual only. So in the privacy of your home, on your lunch break, after work, before work, in your car, in the parking lot, we can talk. And we can go through it and get coping skills and tools. So thank you all.
All right. Well,
That's what's up.
we are all here to meet your mental health needs. We got the self-care strategies. We got the author. We got the psychotherapist. And like she said, hey, we can talk, and we have talked. And this is Let's Talk Houston. And so As I always say in parting, remember to make yourself a priority.
Yes.
Do something special for yourself. Happy belated Father's Day. Happy belated Juneteenth. Happy birthday to all the June birthdays, including myself.
Yes.
And again, remember, God loves you, and so do I. Toodles. Bye-bye.